Hello, Rodney.
Hello, Grandfather.
That meddlesome policeman outside had to inspect it.
Oh, well, that's his job. I guess he really didn't see anything that interested him.
What about you?
Lord Chesterfield's letters to his son. Pilgrim's Progress. That's not exactly light summer reading. Well, at least it'll take me a couple of years to get through them. Thank you. Sit down. Well, I wish I had something exciting to tell you, but the routine here is pretty dull.
We're strangers. My fault. My mistake. I want to remedy it, Rodney.
Well, you have 4 days before the sentencing.
Are you that whipped? A contented lamb waiting to be led to the slaughter?
I'm not content, but there's nothing I can do.
So you sit and wait and accept.
What do you want me to do?
Give up and you're dead.
I haven't given up.
I didn't think so. Not for a minute. But I wanted to hear it from you. What do you want out of life, Rodney?
Well, that seems to be everybody's favorite pastime lately, asking me what I want out of life.
Do you know the answer?
Not now.
When?
When I get out of here.
Too late. Haven't you any ambition besides freedom? Any goal besides self-pity?
Yes.
What?
I don't know.
The mill?
No.
Why not?
Because it's yours, that's why. Because anything I get there is a gift from you.
You don't like gifts. You don't like me.
I don't want to be Martin Peyton's grandson. I don't want to be Leslie Harrington's son. I want to be Rodney Harrington. Now, all my life, all I've had to do was stick my hand out, shut my eyes, and anything I wanted was put there. No matter what the cost or how little I needed it, it was always there. Now, if I can, when I get out of here, anything I get, I'll earn by being me.
Where will you start? Where will you look?
On the other side of these bars. If I can get that far, I'll be halfway there.
Fair enough, Rodney. We can also find out whether we're strangers. I don't think we are. Have you been to see Rodney?
His grandfather's with him. I just came along for the ride.
Are you enjoying it?
What?
The ride. A word of warning, Betty.
Please, Mr. Harrington. Not from you.
This isn't like a bus ride. Once you get on, you can't always get off at the next stop. Martin Peyton may seem like an amusing old man, but the closer you get, the easier it is to get burned.
I'm not even singed.
You will be. That's the only certainty in a relationship with him.
Stop badgering the girl. She's no longer under your thumb. Stop pressing.
What were you doing in there?
Visiting my grandson.
Why?
I had some books for him.
Is that all?
Miss Anderson. Step aside.
Not yet. And until I do, you'll stay away from him. When and if I decide to go through with your bargain...
You have the morals of a vulture. You stand here arguing about your son as if he were a piece of meat to be divided and then plucked.
Honey?
Hi, honey. Is anything wrong?
I think I'm beginning to get
somewhere with Allison.
She's not going to leave us.
No, I don't know about that, but I can only work one miracle at a time, lady.
Oh, just a second. Miss Melrose, I found the book. I'll wrap it for you, huh? Tell me what happened.
Allison has been picking away at that old typewriter in my office for the past 3 hours.
She's writing again.
Yes, at first she wouldn't even go near the typewriter, and then suddenly she started working.
Oh, what's she writing about?
Well, she wouldn't show to me.
Well, how did you manage?
I don't know. It just happened, that's all. I wasn't lecturing her or giving her any advice. We just talked. Well, I talked anyway, about myself mostly. But then I felt her beginning to thaw. And for the first time, I think Allison really wants to understand what's happened to her.
Well, it's a beginning.
Did you write this? When?
This morning.
You must be as tired as I am. Come on, sit down. Sit down. Well. I want an autographed copy of the first edition of this as soon as it's published.
I'd like to talk to you about it tomorrow. Seriously.
Well, I'll talk to you about it today. Seriously.
I don't want to bother you.
What made you start this?
I was thinking about how I felt when I came out of the coma. How beautiful the world looked at first when I woke up.
At first.
Before I started to remember who fit where and why. Before you started to force me to put the pieces together. That was frightening. I liked it best, I think, when it was just me in the room. Me and the bed and the walls and the ceiling and the window and the branches outside the window and the sky shining through. That was easy and simple. You know the first thing I saw when I came out of the coma?
Your mother?
It was a balloon. Norman Harrington tied a balloon to the end of my bed. Everybody thought I was still asleep, but I remember seeing that balloon. I remember how gloriously happy I was. Balloons are undemanding things.
It's like being a shadow of a person walking toward the sun in the late afternoon. An endless, insubstantial shadow of a person whose face you've never seen. It's nice, Allison. I'm glad you bothered me with this. You must relearn the contours and textures of your own face. A face known for 18 years, now unknown. A face loved by a strange, familiar boy. Loved by a strange, familiar man called father. Strangers to the shadow that finds a stranger even in the little person of the past. Walking into the sun. All these familiar strangers more foreign to the shadow than shadows. It is nice, Allison.
Well, that isn't really important anyway. I want you to help me write the part about the people. That's the part that frightens me. It's the part I should be writing about anyway, isn't it?
I wonder.
I thought you'd think that would help me get well faster.
Oh, it probably will. You're going to get well whether we push hard or we don't push at all. You're going to get so well that you won't be able to see the walls and the ceilings and the beds, except in relation to people, like everyone else does. And then you'll be able to accept strangers as more familiar than shadows.
I finished the report. Hello, Miss Janet.
Well, thanks. So if I were you, Allison, I'd write down all about my early impressions, the other experiences that I might have had, say, with Norman, experiences with Rodney, going back into the high school days, the Taddy-Smudge relationship. You see, all people are afraid a little bit of other people, of strangers, even though they may need them, you see. Fear and need are both real feelings and important emotions. Take Stella, for instance. She has no one now, you see. No one to love, no one to be afraid of, no one to need. Except her dead father and her dead brother. She's like a shadow now, and people like Stella, well, if she was to read this, it might help her.
Would you please check and see if Richard Jensen is in his room?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. He doesn't seem to answer.
This is Stephen Cord. If he comes in, will you please tell him I'm waiting in my office?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
If Rodney were free, would you feel differently about him and me? About our future together?
If you want to protest the verdict, there are channels to accommodate you. I am not one of them. You sent a man you knew was innocent to prison. I don't have that on my conscience.
I'll get those 2 years! You owe me! You owe me for those 2 years! You owe me, Stella!